Have you ever had that feeling, you know the one, where you're the person everyone turns to, the one who's trusted to handle the pressure, to figure out the tough problems, to just keep things from falling apart? You carry all that weight, but when a real decision needs to be made, you don't actually have the power to make the call. Well, that feeling is so familiar to so many of us for a reason. It's not a coincidence, it's a pattern, and we're going to explore what it is and why it happens.
So, this is the central question, isn't it? It's the puzzle at the heart of how so many groups work, whether it's in our jobs or even in our families. Why does it happen that someone is trusted with so much responsibility, but at the same time deny the authority that should go with it? To really get to the bottom of this, we first have to be crystal clear about the two ideas at play here. Because this isn't just about words, it's about a deep, fundamental imbalance between the burden a person is asked to carry and the power they're actually given. So let's start with responsibility. The simplest way to think about it is as the weight you're asked to carry. It's the obligation to get things done. It's the expectation that you're the one who will step in when there's a problem. And it's that unspoken understanding that you will absorb the stress so other people don't have to. And then, on the other side, you have authority. And this is completely different. This isn't about carrying a burden, it's about having control. It's the official power to say yes or no, to choose the direction, to actually control what happens. It's the power to act, not just to react to problems. When you put them next to each other like this, the imbalance just becomes so clear, doesn't it? Responsibility is all about the burden, the obligation, the doing of the work. But authority is about power and control, the deciding of the work. The whole problem starts when these two things are split apart, when one person is given all the weight and someone else holds all the power. So, if this dynamic is so unbalanced, why on earth does it happen so often? Well, the answer isn't really about finding a villain. It's actually found in the psychology of the group itself. Think about it. Every group, whether it's a small team or a whole company, wants to be stable. And to get that stability, it naturally looks to its most competent members. The people you can always count on to fix things and see a job through. That reliance is absolutely essential for the group to function. But here's where the conflict comes in. If you give that competent person real authority, the power to actually make changes and decide a new path, well, that might disrupt the way things already are. It might challenge the people who are currently in charge. Real authority, you see, can feel like a threat to the existing power structure. So the group makes a sort of unspoken trade-off to solve this problem. It gives all the responsibility to the competent person because that keeps things running smoothly, but it withholds the authority because that keeps the existing hierarchy safe. And what's the result? You get to fix all the problems, but you never get to change the system that's creating them. Now, this whole arrangement has a cost, but it's usually a very quiet one. It's a weight that is definitely felt, but not always seen by the people around you. We're talking about all of that invisible work. It's the emotional labor of managing everyone's anxieties. It's absorbing the pressure coming from the top so that the rest of the group doesn't feel it. It's about maintaining some kind of order when things feel chaotic. And it's solving that never-ending stream of small problems before they can turn into big ones. This is the work that keeps everything going, and it almost never gets acknowledged. Maybe the best way to describe this role is this. You become the system's shock absorber. You're the one who takes the impacts, the friction, and all the unexpected bumps so that the machine can keep running smoothly. And a lot of the time, no one else even realizes just how bumpy the road really is. Understanding this dynamic isn't about finding someone to blame or getting angry. It's more about having a quiet realization. It's about finally seeing the hidden structure of a situation you may have been living with for years. And this, right here, is the key insight. If any of what we've talked about feels familiar to you, please understand, it's not a personal failing, it's not just bad luck. It is a predictable psychological pattern. It emerges in groups as a way to manage both competence and control at the same time. What you've experienced is real, and it has a strange logic to it, even if that logic feels deeply unfair. And that leaves us with this final, quiet thought. Some people are tasked with carrying the entire weight of a system, its problems, its pressures, its very future, a system that they are never, ever allowed to truly lead.